Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversations, Stree Shakti, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, the Indian Business Group IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business ICIB. Today's theme is 10 principles of psychology you can use to build a brand and community. We have with us the dynamic young professional, Mohinee Singh, who is an Assistant Vice President at CyberFrat Private Limited and the co-founder of CXO Junction, a target-driven professional who is responsible for monitoring and overseeing the activities of the brand CXO Junction and team. Another core area of the working of enlarging of CXO's community every day, event planning to provide opportunity to enterprise leaders who network and other peers for learning evolving scenes of the cybersecurity from the right professionals. Today, your host is me, Mr. Mansoor Thakrar, the co-founder of TEIF and the operations head at Prime Infotech Solution. We welcome you aboard, Mohinee Singh. We are grateful. Finally, we are ready to do this after a long time of wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to, yes. Go ahead, please tell us.
Yep, I just would like to thank you for inviting me to this platform and all the people who are involved, in the background to make this happen. So thank you so much. And yeah,
all right.
Looking forward
so just for the
great
viewers, definitely, we will have a great conversation. And so just for the viewers, we'll be dividing the session into three parts. One is going to be the professional journey. The other one would be the personal. And the last one would be the personal and professional mix kind of a thing for the fun element. All right. So Mohinee, let's start with the first question. You have been from a very long time at the CyberFrat, which is a community for cybersecurity professionals. And now you're consulting, training, and a community forum. Can you tell us why did you join CyberFrat and what are the activities that you do at CyberFrat?
Okay. So basically, I joined CyberFrat 3 years back. And since, cybersecurity has slowly transformed into an evergreen industry. So we saw that, there is a lot of cyber hacks, cyber frauds are happening around, and there is a very lack of knowledge within the society. So that was the reason we start of, building a community where people can network with each other and they can understand, and who can fill the gap between the frauds and what are the mitigation, what are the prevention you should take. So this was the reason we started CyberFrat. And when I talk about what we do in this, our motto is basically to provide cyber security for everyone. So whether you are a cybersecurity or IT professional or not, whether you are a small kid or you are at a CXO level, position. So we provide cybersecurity awareness for everyone. And for that, we have built our own initiatives such as the Cult site, which is into integrating cybersecurity within your organization. Okay, and then we have the Digital Kiddo, which is basically the initiative to provide awareness, education to the 6 to 12 years old kids. So how they can safeguard themselves at this, age. And then comes the CXO Junction platform, which basically I lead. And the CXO Junction platform is built for the, for all the enterprise leaders to come and network with each other, understand the latest technologies and solutions available in the industry for them. And so our motive in CXO Junction is basically network, explore, and make the change. So yeah, so this is how we work. So we provide cybersecurity for everyone.
Okay. So when you talk about kids, okay, specifically when you talk about kids and cybersecurity, this is something like a very new initiative. Like not many of them are concentrating on it. So what was the basic idea when you all thought, okay, we need to get children also aboard and make them to understand what is cybersecurity? So what was the concept exactly behind it, and why did you all just focus on that particular target?
Okay, so the motive of providing awareness to these kids was because of course a lot of cyber frauds are taking place, and of course there is a major of the cyber frauds are happening with the youngsters for now, because they are most of all are on social media. A lot of things happen with youngsters and kids on Instagram, on Facebook, on messages, and there are kids who are mostly now into playing games online. So they download a lot of things, lot of apps available online. So they download anything. So this is the reason we conduct workshops where we educate them which are the apps, how they should trust with those apps, if they are installing anything on their phone or making an account on social media. So they should share the password with their parents. They should inform their parents that this application I want to use, or this person, some stranger is messaging me. So I should always inform my parents that this stranger is messaging me, and this is, then what should be my reply to them? Should I entertain them or not? So such such basic things as well, we which is very important for kids, so we educate them in that way.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Can you please explain a little bit about your journey to the B2B marketing and marketing professionalism and challenges you faced in this industry?
Okay. Talking about this question, if you're not aware, actually, so before I joined CyberFrat, I was, in my college days, I was completely into fashion, modeling, shooting own short films, directing short films, and posting it on YouTube. I had my own YouTube channel and everything. So I was completely into fashion and modeling, okay, and acting. So CyberFrat has been my first job where I started it, working in a B2C model, because we were only working in the B2C model where we were selling the tickets to the larger audience, and then small tickets to the larger audience. So when we compare it to B2B, of course, B2C is, fairly easy in terms of conversion rate. So, and then I moved on to, after B2C, I moved on to B2B, which is the CXO junction, which I started leading. So of course it was difficult to start because it was completely new to me. And there are a lot of challenges you face when you are into B2B, because the process of selling is a very long process where you have to nurture your clients, okay, and it takes a lot of time, lot of efforts to convert it to one order.
Right.
So yeah, so comparatively to B2C and B2B is completely different, and B2B is quite difficult compared to any other field. And when I talk about the challenges, I would like I just remembered one thing which we faced. Like there was a time when there was no order or no revenue for 3 months in CXO Junction. Okay, so that was a very difficult time that, because we were reaching out to a lot of, OEMs and our client, our customers, but then it took a lot of time to convert them. So that was one of the challenge which we faced during the B2B journey. But then I understood that, there are a lot of things which we have to take it in mind. Like B2B, when you're talking about B2B, it takes a lot of time to position your brand value in the market. Okay, so the things which I focus on were understanding how, understanding my clients, how I can provide them with a maximum value and maximum ROI, how I can, work on that. And then, of course, with the help of my mentors, my boss and everyone, I was able to, post 3 months, I was able to close the deals which where I was, nurturing on, focusing on. So of course, there are a lot of challenges, but of course, it is always interesting as well.
All right. So according to you, what is like the marketing matrix, which is you measure a success of an initiative? Is there anything that in B2B, is there any kind of a matrix that you follow to like measure it?
Of course, there are some metrics which we have to follow. And I basically follow on, 2 to 3 things majorly, which is, first of all, the cost per lead. How much efforts, how much, money we are spending to generate one lead. So that is something we focus on. The other thing is that customer lifetime value, which we call as, CLV, customer lifetime value, which is a number which help you understand like how much you should invest in acquiring the new audience, as well as how much efforts you should invest in retaining the existing customers. So these are the things which I focus on. And of course, the client satisfaction, when you are, like we are as CXO Junction, we are into marketing the solution and services of our of our clients in terms of to the right audience. And client satisfaction is also something, I focus on, because when we are working to market their solution, their services, then we are focusing on how they can grow, how I can provide them the right kind of audience, how I can provide them the right kind of strategies. So these are the things which I focus on.
Okay. So I think this next question, what I'm going to ask you is a little bit dicey, but I'm sure you'll be able to answer this to me. So when you talk about strategy, like you just told me that, from your, when you were supposed to be into modeling, short films and everything, and now you're into CyberFrat. So so is it necessary for one to have like a second option when strategies don't work? So what is your take on it? If plans don't work for your business plans, you think how necessary it is to have a second plan or an option?
Okay, so not only second option, I think we should have multiple options. Okay, so we should have multiple plans. If one plan does not work, then plan B. If not B, then C. It goes on. So you cannot, restrict or limit yourself with one backup plan. And there is no guaranteed success parameter. So sometimes we have seen that it's not your fault, but still the problem arises, maybe because of the third party involved in your project, or third party involved in your work. So there is always a variable pattern where you have actually dependencies on the other parties and other vendors. So but I cannot let down my clients due to any reason, and I cannot fall on the expectations which they have. So I have to work on their expectations. So this is what I think, and that is a reason. Like CXO Junction, it is since 1.5 years now, and we are still experimenting in the industry. Okay, so we do a lot of new things now also, because we're still exploring what all things more we can do. So that is a reason I focus on how we can build a process oriented organization and less of people oriented organization. So this is my take. So like we focus on how we can build the processes. So once the processes are set, so it won't be difficult for you much to get the success. So this is what I focus on. So this is what I feel, that not only single plans but multiple plans, and focusing more on process orientation.
Okay. If you could share any kind of example where you have used a second option or a second plan in your business.
Yes, of course. So, there was a time when, actually, we had an experience of conducting one event within 3 weeks. So, this was the experience which we were working on. And there was a time which happened when we got some, proposals to do 3 activities in 3 days, and that took consecutive days. So it was like 3rd, 4th, and 5th of that month we were traveling. So we had 3 projects in 3 different cities: Delhi, Bangalore, and Mumbai. So that was the time when we worked on, I focused on creating the second layer of the leaders, where I assigned my teams and where I dedicated some, one project to each lead. So that was the one where we focus on the process orientation. Yeah. So it was quite different because we had never done that before, doing one event in 3 weeks and then suddenly doing 3 events in 3 days was, so that was, but that was really amazing, and things happened very well.
Okay. So could you share some inputs on the concept of growth hacking?
Okay. So growth hacking is something which we called it as intelligence-based marketing. So growth hacking is something, we have seen a lot in the industry, that when, the cybersecurity solution providers, they have the solution, but they are targeting the wrong audience, or the audience which are not currently looking for it. So there are multiple, OEMs who are already providing, for example, API security. So one OEM has already targeted one niche, segment. So if the other OEMs comes to us and, they say that, we have tried the market and we are not getting any ROI, we are not getting the, output which we are expecting. That is because they were focusing on the wrong segment. And this is where we come into picture, and we focus on the intelligence-based marketing. Where we let them know which will be the right kind of audience segment where they should focus. So this is what I call as growth hacking. So there are times when OEMs doesn't know where they should target, and we help them know that, these are the segment who has the budget, who has the interest, who is looking for this solution. These are the segment who is not actually looking for it. So why we should, focus on that segment. So we focus on the right segment. So that is the intelligence-based marketing, which we call as growth hacking.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So moving on forward, now you have a lot of day-to-day clientele, so you have a lot of meeting with clients online, offline. How does one, or specifically, how do you build that connection or a relationship with these clients of yours? Is there any kind of secret that you would like to share with us today?
So, like building relationship with the clients, actually, it's not always calling them for the business purpose. So sometimes, I like to meet them in person over lunch, over dinner, and creating an interpersonal relationship with them. And that is something I focus on. So this is what a client relationship is called, and it should not always be work. I always love to meet them in person, or online, for in the free time, for a better communication. And I personally meet them over dinners and lunches to ensure that I have a good relationship with them. Sometimes without any reason, I think they are quite also senior to me. So I love to meet them and understand how they have grown so far. What are the things they have done? So I meet a lot of CXOs, in this industry, and in my journey so far. And they, when they stand with 30 plus years of experience, or 25 plus years of experience, so I love to meet them. I love to know how they have reached this position, what are the things they like, what are the things they do, what are their thoughts on the in terms of cybersecurity. So I follow them a lot. I found them, as my mentor, and whenever I go, I take their interview. So
Okay.
like you are taking mine today, so I have a set of questions in my mind which I ask them regularly to understand, not only for to grow my career, but as an individual, how I can grow.
Okay. And now let's talk about now you go on dinners, you go on lunches and everything. So how is that matrix like actually follow? Like you just call them up and be like, how are you? How are you doing? Let's meet up for dinner. Is it, how does the conversation actually get in? Like, is it a very casual conversation you have with them, or it's a very professional? We want to understand a little bit about that.
Okay, so of course, initially it has been a very professional, and I am able to build some relationship with them, that I can actually message them and ask them for a time. But of course, it is very difficult to get their time when they are doing a lot of things. So on a daily basis. So yeah, it has been a professionally, where I ask them, and of course, I am able to get the time. So I'm glad for that.
Okay. Okay. Another. So let's follow up with that question. Now, how do you keep yourself updated with the changing trends, or and what is like your mantra for keeping yourself updated?
I actually follow a lot of pages. Okay, and even I am also a very social media, where I watch a lot of channels on social media. I follow a lot of pages of marketing, a lot of pages of entrepreneurship, which helps me, get to know the latest trends happening. And secondly, the second way is that during the lunch breaks in my office, me and my colleagues, we actually sit, and on the TV display, we actually play some marketing trending videos, how other brands are building their marketing, how Zomato is working on marketing, how, and on the other side, same time, how Splunk is doing B2B marketing. So all of these things we keep watching.
Okay. So and
Yeah.
so you mainly, whatever is your thing about trending is through social media. So do you read any kind of books and so also for like keeping yourself updated?
Books in the sense, honestly, currently I'm actually pursuing IIM, from IIM Lucknow. I'm
Okay.
pursuing a course of sales and marketing. So that is the only books which I'm referring right now.
Okay. All right, not a problem. So as you said, social media. So there would there be any suggestion from your end if someone wants to like learn more about the marketing and trend? What should one person do? Would you like to suggest a particular channel or a particular page?
Okay, so actually, there are a lot of actually good content on Instagram. If you see that, Instagram has become a very addictive channel, and people are actually, spending a lot of time in that. So I believe that instead of, wasting the time in watching random things, I believe there are a lot of good content. So one of them, which currently I remember, is Mad Over Marketing.
Okay.
So they post a very good content of, on a daily basis about marketing. So, and a lot of channels are there in terms of marketing as well in terms of entrepreneurship. I will share that later, but currently I remember the Mad Over Marketing thing.
All right. Okay. So you have attended many summits and events. Okay. So, and you have met a lot of senior people from different industries. So how do you see yourself as a different person while meeting them, and understanding them? How does that impact your life?
Okay, so yeah, we actually I actually attend a lot of summits, and also we conduct our events of our own. So as I mentioned earlier, that meeting the CXOs, in each event is always a very different experience, because they come with a lot of experience, and being a me being at an early stage of my career, I learn a lot of things from them. And before meeting them, I actually research about them. I do a lot of study about them on from the LinkedIn, from their post, and what are the kind of events they like to do, what are their topic of interest, in which topic of cybersecurity or IT security they are talking about. Okay, and what type of comments they do, which type of posts they like. So these all things you get to know from LinkedIn, and I do a lot of study, and based on that I meet them, and based on that I ask them. So I remember like recently I met one CXO. He's so I was actually speaking to him, and he made me learn about some 5 principles of life.
Okay.
So, and that was very interesting. So so all of these things I asked them to groom myself.
Okay.
So one of
And
them was like, there was some 4 5 people who are looking for, who are looking for coffee. Okay. And then one person, he makes coffee for all the 5 people, and he gives the coffee in separate mugs. So one is very designer mug, one is a small paper mug, and different mugs. And one person, the first person who comes to take the coffee is, he take the coffee which is inside the designer mug. So this is what, we call it as a kind of distraction, because you were focusing on, you wanted coffee, but you're focusing on the mug.
right.
So this is how you distract yourself, and you're not, focus on what you are actually looking for.
Fair enough. That is a very important lesson. We actually are so caught up in like seeing what else is around us, but not focusing on what we are getting. That's a very beautiful example you gave of that for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What has been your greatest challenge career-wise when you're attending a project, and how did you solve it?
Yeah, so I actually mentioned that, that one which we did 3 events in 3 days, that was the greatest challenge. And yeah, that was the greatest challenge which I mentioned.
Okay.
And
Now,
we did 2 things. Like one was for 3 months, there was no revenue, and that was quite emotional and disheartening time for us. But apart from that, doing 3 events in 3 days was quite challenging.
okay, just want to add on one more question for the professional one, and then we'll continue with the personal. What is your take on teamwork and being a leader? How does one actually build a proper team, or be a great leader for his people? What is your take on it?
Okay, so actually, being the manager of my team, being the leader of my team, so I believe I actually focus on how I can satisfy my team, how if they're happy with the work, what they're doing, and this gives me the greatest happiness when they are enjoying the work, and understanding what they want, understanding their interest, and instead of and then focusing on their goals, focusing on their growth. Because when I am at this position, then I have to think of my growth, my organization growth, along with my team's growth. So as a leader, of course, you have these team's responsibility on you to make their life and career growing.
Okay. And during these times, like we all have faced it, where there is always disagreement between the team, the leader, and everything on that. How do you personally manage that?
Okay, so yeah, of course, there are times when we face that. So some we balance it in a way when I say that let's agree with what I am saying this time, and sometimes I have to agree with my team as well, because I cannot restrict them with their thoughts. If they want to experiment something, of course we can do that. So this is how we balance.
Okay. Okay, so that was the professional question. Now let's move on to the personal questions. So Mohinee, if you have to say, who's your role model of your life?
I think there are two role models whom I admire. One is of course my mom. She actually comes with an experience of 15 plus years, and she has been working. And in her branch where she was working, she was the only woman.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone were men in her office, and she has faced, of course, a lot of challenges, lot of tough time. But and because of that, I am able to manage my career, my workplace, because I have learned a lot from her, and I have never seen her post working hours when she used to return home. I have never seen her taking out the frustration or giving some negative vibes at home. So she was very pro at that. She was very well able to manage that. So she is one of my role models. And the second is my boss, who is Mr. Gaurav Batra, who is the founder and CEO of CyberFrat. I have, because both of them are my role models, because both of them brings the best out of me, and they keep supporting me in all the situations.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just to add up on that, there's always this quote, I just seen it today morning. They're like, there are no bad employees, there are just bad bosses. Or there are this thing. So what is your take on it? Like, how does a boss, when you particularly talk something about a boss, like you take your boss as a role model. How has he impacted your life like that, like to make you the person you are? If you could just share one or two lines about that.
Okay, so actually, Gaurav sir, he holds a very important role in my life, because as I mentioned, that he has seen the best out of me. He has, when I came initially, he gave me the opportunity to, lead the things. At CyberFrat, I have worked from the scratch. Like I have worked in the HR field. I have worked on for finance, sales, marketing, operations. So taking the interviews to training that person, and then managing the operation, sales, marketing, everything. So he has given me that opportunity that I was able to do that. And same for CXO junction. So he has given me that opportunity where he saw something in me that I can do that. So of course he plays a very important role.
All right. And I asked you this question because many of our audiences and many of our people who will be watching this, they always don't have a very good relationship with their bosses. Okay. So I want to make this as an example that bosses are good, things happen, they are our leaders. So that's why I asked you this question. All right.
Actually, at CyberFrat, I believe that everyone in my team, they're aware which is the right place they have to go.
Mm-hmm.
If they have any problem. So recently, something happened where I saw my colleague who she was not feeling well. So she was not able to work on something. So she just felt like going towards Gaurav sir, and she felt like expressing how she is feeling about the work, like she's not able to manage that. So, and that's the time I also once again I realized that people know that he is the one where we can easily go and confront that this is something we are facing. So the boss are always not in the bad side. We have a very good boss.
Right. Definitely you have one. I can say that with a big smile on your face while you're expressing about him. I definitely bet he is an amazing person. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Would you like to share a few of your happy moments in life which you can recollect now?
Happy moments in a personal or professional life?
Yes, it was personal.
Personal life. Personally, actually, the happiest moment was, which I remember right now, is again, it is similar to my related to my professional. So we were in a Christmas celebration we were doing with our team and internal team, and we were playing that secret Santa thing when people were
Okay.
giving some gifts, and I got one, small gift which was packed in a paper wrap. So I thought that it is a small Kit Kat chocolate. So I just opened it in that manner, it must be Kit Kat only. But when I opened it, it was actually a visiting card holder, and it was inside, there was a new visiting cards which had my new designation as an AVP. So that
Okay.
was very surprising, very shocking, which was, given by my company. So that was the happiest moment when actually I was not expecting that I will get the promotion, but I got that.
Okay. Uh, so you have to tell me something about your family. How were they like open, and how was the support from their end for your professional growth? And yeah.
So my family has been very supportive, of course, so far, and they have seen me working day and night for anything. And there are times when actually in between of my sleep, I get up and I have a new idea of a project and I write down in the midnight, and then so that I can share it in the morning with my colleagues. So they have seen every situation of me, like getting up from the sleep or working till late nights and everything. So they have been always supporting. So I had no, challenges in terms of my personal life.
Got it. How do you manage the bad phases in your life? How do you overcome it?
Okay. So I think taking a deep breath
Okay.
and then, as a leader, I have to be very flexible and very much adaptive. As I told you that, I have taken myself at a place of HR, finance, marketing, everything. So because I never restricted myself within, one particular domain. And my always end goal is to what the company's end goal is. So if and if the situation wants a change, then you have to be versatile and you have to be dynamic to adopt that change. And that is how I think you can, one thing which will help you grow and help you to go in the right direction.
Okay. Do you believe that change is inevitable, like change is required? And when change comes on to you, how do you accept change?
Okay, so I think, as I mentioned earlier, that being a leader, of course, I have to be very flexible and adaptive. I have, since in this journey, I have been working as for HR, finance, sales, marketing, operations, whichever field you say. Okay, so, along with going on to the, visiting the vendors, visiting the malls and buying some, good quality gifts and goodies and connecting with the vendors to make this happen and then giving that to our clients and customers. So that has been a journey which I've done. So we have to be very adaptive and dynamic all the time. And for me as an individual, I actually believe that I don't want to get stable at one place. It won't be Mohinee then. So I like being dynamic and love to be challenged.
Okay. So now in like a lot in our professional lives and our personal lives, we have always known, and I mean, this is a very trending thing, learn to say no. Okay. Like, so in your personal life, when you, how important is the meaning of no? Or in your professional life, if I have to ask, have you told anyone like a client no or a family member no? How the word or the term no, how is the importance of it in your life?
Okay, so I think saying no is very important at some times. Okay, so we cannot accept everything all the time. Sometimes, we have to say no. So when I talk about something, which had happened in professionally, so there are, different times when we have to say no. Sometimes, we have got a proposal to do something which is not into our capability, or which is something we don't want to, we cannot serve that. Then of course we have said no to a few clients. And apart from that, there are a few situations where we have got something great to work upon from the client side, but then, uh, we have worked a lot to build CXO junction and, position it in the market in a very good, with a good brand value. So in this case, I don't want to work uh, or, see CXO junction as any other, backend agency. So we have also created it as a brand, and there are situations where the client has asked that, we want to do an event with you, but your branding should not be there. So of course that time I have to say no to them, because of course if we are putting in efforts, and of course CXO Junction is also a brand, so of course the logo and presence will come, brand presence will come.
Moving on to the next question, and this is a very generic question, but I need to ask it because I really am very curious to know about this. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so I think first and foremost is adding value to myself through continuous learning and upgrading my skills, knowledge, and leadership quality, enhancing my personality. This is my goal, and from 5 years down the line, I see myself growing as a leader and managing and handling a wide set of responsibilities for the better growth.
Okay. And what do you see yourself in your personal life in the next 5 years?
In my personal life, I want to be, become a woman who can inspire some women around me.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are still there are still cases where scenarios where we are actually living in, where women are not getting that much opportunity, or they do not have that willingness to come forward and work, or to come forward and do something for their own. So I just want to do things to inspire other women. I would like to see, I would like to see like people who are not able to come out right now, they also have that right to come out and do whatever they want to do.
Okay. If you have to describe Mohinee in one word, what would that one word be?
I think I am very passionate about doing something. If I want to achieve something, then I'll do everything to achieve that. So I think I will call myself a passionate, but of course I'm not sure about that. Then now you have to tell me what you think about me after this interview.
Definitely. I'll give you a second word. I'll call it determined. Determination is so much crazy in you. I can feel that energy while you're saying this. No, I want to do this. I want to do that. Like there's always a saying when I've been in like multiple interviews and then someone is very, passionate, or that determination hota hai na unme ki nahi mujhe karna hai. You feel that vibe. I actually am feeling that from you. Okay. What do you do in your free time, Mohinee?
Actually, in my free time, I like to take good sleep. I
Okay.
like to eat. I like to explore different places, different food, and I'm a very big foodie.
Okay.
So there are three to four things which in my life. Some are my chilling with my friends, and then taking good sleep, working, and eating good food.
Okay. Okay. If you would not be working at CyberFrat or CXO or any other place besides this job, what would you have been doing?
I think, as I mentioned you earlier in the beginning, that I was into fashion modeling, acting. So my core interest was in that. Like I have participated in a lot of modeling contests. I had run my own YouTube channel. I had a team of where we had our own equipments, cameras, lights, mics, everything. So I've done a lot of those work. And I think if not CyberFrat, then I think I was still my focus was on the modeling and acting side only.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like to be creative.
Okay. Okay. So that's the end of the personal round. Let's start with the fun element now. Okay. So Mohinee, let's say you get a chance to go back in time. Okay. You get a chance to go back in time. Who would be the one person you would like to meet?
Like to meet?
Yes.
Back in time. Somebody who I cannot meet now.
Yeah. Or anything like back in time. Either that person is dead or you want to meet that person in past. Someone like that. If you get a chance to go back in time.
I did not clearly understand what exactly.
Saying, if you got a chance to go back in time, like आपको एक मौका मिल जाता है आपको वापस time पे जाने के लिए, who would be that one person you would like to meet?
I think my professors. in my college where I was working. And because I've learned a lot from them, but currently I am not in that much touch with them. And then also there was a small kid who was staying near my house, and I love to be with her all the time. So she was like my kid only. So but now she has shifted to some other place, so I think I would like to go and meet her again now.
Okay. Fine. Given the choice between eating at a fancy restaurant or street food, what would be your preference and why?
Street food all the time.
Q.
No reason on that, because everybody loves street food. Because I have eaten a lot in Paisa so far, and I think still street food are better. I can eat more there.
Okay. Okay. Given the chance that tomorrow you wake up to be rich, like you have $1 billion with you, what would be the first thing you would do with that $1 billion?
I think I'll go for shopping. I'll spend it on myself.
Okay.
Then I'll think, what should I do now?
Okay. Okay. Mohinee, are you a tea person or a coffee person?
Sometimes I am a coffee person, but honestly speaking, I actually don't prefer tea, coffee, or cold drinks. Actually, I don't.
So a juice or water then, like what is it? Or plain water?
Plain water and juices.
Okay.
Actually, this is actually true.
Okay. What is your take on life? Okay. Like, I mean to say, what is your take on life as in, suppose you were supposed to die tomorrow, okay, and you have your last 24 hours. How would you like to spend the last 24 hours of your life?
I spend it with my family.
Okay.
And yeah, of course, with my family, and whatever time I will have, I will of course will spend with them, doing what they want and talking with them a lot.
Okay. Okay. Given the choice that you would get last one wish, okay, any wish in the world where you would get one choice that wish would become true right now, what would that one wish be? And why?
Wish, if only one wish, if I have to make, then it will be what my parents and what my brother wants. So what they want, I think that will be my wish.
Okay. Okay. So the last question for you. Okay. Mohinee, imagine like everything, you've become a success. You have like everything, whatever you wanted and all that. And then in the end, after that success, you come to a realization that this is what I didn't want it. Mujhe nahi chahiye tha.
Lol. Okay.
What would be your reaction and what you would do after that?
Then I think I'll take a precaution pehle hi that, if I don't want that, then why I will work on that. But in case I've done something which I don't wanted to do, but I've achieved that, then of course, good for the other people who was working with me, who was around, who was part of that situation.
Okay. So, so you believe, so as personality of yours, I believe that what I've just got to know from you is that you're more of a do kind of a person. Regret hua to dekh lenge jo bhi hai, but we'll go forward and we'll do that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Mohinee, so we are coming to an end of the session. Okay. So before we like sign off, is there any message that you would like to give the young entrepreneurs or the professionals who are going to watch this episode?
Okay, so I think any entrepreneur or anybody who wants to be, part of the client relationship things, who wants to build a career, which is a part of client relationship. I think some pointers for them would be, never do cold calling. Never do cold calling. Like, you have to speak to your client in a normal way. You have to engage them, with them, and by building an interpersonal relationship with them, and treat your client as an individual. They are also an individual. So, don't hesitate. Be confident about what you are offering them. And the next thing is that understanding what they want, understanding their goal, and making that goal as your own goal. And always ask for feedbacks. So that is something, part of any, any field you are going. So always ask for feedback, and always accept the feedback and accept the criticism and work on that. So this will be my giveaway to anybody.
All right. Okay, Mohinee, it was a great conversation with you. And so we're coming to an end right now. So just want to thank you very, very much for doing this. And I bet like many entrepreneurs it would be a very key thing that you have shared all the insights. It was a very great conversation, a very fruitful conversation, Mohinee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the entire team for inviting me. And I hope, we had a great conversation. People would like it. So definitely looking forward for connecting more.
No, we will definitely. All right. Thank you, Mohinee. Have a nice day forward. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.